Okay, so let's just dive right in. We talk about AI like it's some kind of far-off future technology. But for our kids, it's already here. It's completely woven into their daily lives, often in ways we don't even really see. From the moment they wake up to when they go to bed, they are interacting with these incredibly complex systems that, frankly, we're all still trying to get our heads around.
I mean, just think about it for a second. It's the smart speaker that tells them a bedtime story. It's that educational app that tailors math problems just for them. It's the video feed that decides which cartoon they're going to watch next. This stuff isn't niche anymore. It's as normal in a kid's life as a bicycle or a box of crayons. But this brings up a really, really fundamental question.
These powerful systems are actively shaping how our kids develop, how they see the world, even how they form relationships. But were they built with a child's unique needs, their vulnerabilities, and their rights in mind? That's the core of it. That's the user manual we never got, and it's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
To really get this, we have to start by seeing it all through a child's eyes. Because for them, AI isn't some looming threat. It's this brand new world of possibility. It's a source of total wonder and excitement.
Just listen to this quote from a 10-year-old in a study by Scotland's Children's Parliament. Wow. It just perfectly captures that pure, unfiltered curiosity, doesn't it? For kids, this isn't just a tool. It's their new digital playground. It's a place they want to explore, they want to understand, and they even want to help build. But like any playground, there are risks. And in the digital world, those risks are often completely invisible. When these systems are designed for adults and then just, used by children, some really serious problems can pop up. And here's another quote from that same project, and this one gets right to the heart of the issue. A 10-year-old from Shetland understands a concept that, honestly, developers and policymakers are still wrestling with: fairness. Kids can feel when a system isn't right, and that feeling points to a massive flaw in a lot of AI. So what is this bias we're talking about? Well, at its core, an AI learns from data. And if that data reflects the prejudices that already exist in our world about race or gender or disability, then the AI is going to learn those prejudices too. And this can lead to some profoundly unfair results, like an educational tool that accidentally closes doors for certain students, or a social care system that overlooks children who are in desperate need. And then there's another one of these invisible risks: privacy. So many AI systems are built from the ground up to collect data, to profile users, to predict what we'll do next. For a child, growing up under that kind of constant digital surveillance, it can be deeply limiting. It can shape their worldview, it can shrink their freedom to explore and make mistakes, and ultimately, it can get in the way of them developing their own true sense of self. There's also this fascinating and kind of worrying challenge showing up in education. Researchers are calling it the cognitive paradox. Get this. One study found that students using an AI assistant for homework, they solved 48% more math problems correctly. Awesome, right? But their scores on a test of conceptual understanding were 17% lower. So the AI was helping with the how, but it was actually eroding the why. And that is a huge distinction when it comes to real learning.
Okay, so we've looked at the risks. That's the tough part. The good news is there is a growing global consensus that we can, and we absolutely must, do better. And that brings us to the path forward: intentionally, actively designing for children.
This quote from the Five Rights Foundation is such a powerful call to action. You know that old Silicon Valley mantra, move fast and break things? Well, that just can't apply when the things being broken are our kids. This really marks a turning point, a recognition of our shared responsibility to build a digital world that is safe for them by design, not by accident.
So, what does that actually look like in practice? Well, organizations like UNICEF have created frameworks to guide us. And these are just vague ideas. They're really concrete criteria. For an AI to be child-centered, it has to be developmentally appropriate. It has to know the difference between a 5-year-old and a 15-year-old. It has to be fair and transparent and accountable. These principles are the bedrock.
But look, principles are only as good as their implementation, right? So the next absolutely crucial step is turning this framework into an actionable rulebook for the people who are actually building these systems.
And that is exactly what this is, the AI Lifecycle Code from the Five Rights Foundation. It's a practical, step-by-step process that embeds safety and children's rights into every single stage of development, right from the initial idea to long after a product has launched. It basically moves safety from being an afterthought to being the absolute core of the design process itself.
Now, building safer technology, that's one half of the equation.
The other half is empowering the users themselves, especially when those users are kids.
And this is where something called AI literacy comes in. A framework developed by the European Commission and the OECD really emphasizes two pillars. First is knowledge, teaching kids the basics of how AI works, that it's not magic, and that it has very real limitations. And the second part is skills, giving them the ability to think critically about the information AI is feeding them, to question it, and to use it responsibly.
So the path forward isn't just about what developers or policymakers do. It's a collective effort. It requires input from educators, from parents, and most importantly, from children themselves.
I just love this final quote from another 10-year-old in that Scottish study. It is such a profound reminder that kids aren't just passive users that need to be protected. They're active participants who can, and absolutely should, have a say in shaping the technology that is shaping their entire world. Their insights can help make AI better and safer for all of us. So this is the question we're left with. We know, for a fact, that AI will be a defining force for the next generation. The crucial question that we all need to be asking is, who gets to define the AI? It's a responsibility we all share, and it starts with understanding the stakes and demanding better.